If you already have a Fiverr account, are you looking to start a new business, make a little money on the side? Then listen up. Fiverr is not the place where everything costs $5. Contrary to belief, people can actually make a really nice and steady income long as they follow some simple practices and, well, stay consistent. I cleared about $40,000 just in 4-5 months alone. And that comes from the orders that came in, plus those same customers taking it upon themselves to find me off the platform and us going private. Now, I want to warn you, Fiverr does not like it when you take it upon yourself to actively remove people from the platform and, taking the business private, but they have no problem with the customer taking it upon themselves to find you. What I'm going to show you is how to set up and build your new Fiverr account or just grow the one that you already have to make well over 30, 40, 50, 60, even $100,000 if you really put the time in. There's people out there making well over $400,000 a year just in writing for Fiverr. And if you enjoy what you see here, as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like, all that good stuff. But let's just get right into it. So I started the account with zero. And like I said, in 4 or 5 months, I earned over $40,000, and that was doing part-time work. I did this by leveraging the TikTok account that I had at the time. It had grew to about 40,000 followers. Now, to a lot of people, that might not be a lot, but I used that to solidify what I was offering. I made my gigs reflect what I knew well, and that was social media growth, business, marketing, strategies. Now, prior to me starting that Fiverr account, I did own a small business that was about writing and content creation, so I really already had a foundation set up of what to expect and what to serve to people, but even without that, you'll be fine. So when you start your account, they're gonna give you a few tips, and as they say, the breakdowns. You wanna actually read some of those or read through them. They actually make some good points. But what I would advise is, just like Fiverr would say, put a face to your profile picture. People wanna know and see who they're talking to or doing work with. When I created my account, I used a stage name that I somehow embodied through the years. So when you do this, pay attention to the fact that you cannot change that. So use your name or use your business name. You don't want to end up having it to where you have underscores and exclamation marks here or numbers here and there. You want to make it to where it's easily searchable. Don't try to put too much time into creating the perfect description again, because the best thing about what you're doing right now is that you're executing it. You're doing what a lot of people don't do, or they don't even get to this part. So don't put an extensive amount of time into this part, because you can come back and fix your descriptions over time. Second step. When you're creating your gig, it asks you for your occupation and things like that. So I'm going to go in and redo mine just to add more of this. Now you can add up to, 2 or 5, like they say. You can go ahead and put yours in. And look at that. After you set up everything, you're going to be somewhat all done. Step 3. This is the last part of the video. This is when I want to show you what your dashboard and your mission command is going to be like. Over here is a big deal. This is your analytics for your response rate, your delivery time, your order completion. These are the most important things that you're going to have to pay attention to. Myself, I made it my goal to make sure that I stayed within 100. In order to get that 100% for response rate, you have to respond in under an hour. In order to get the delivery time on time, come on, it's common sense. Just deliver your products and your services on time. And order completion, it deals with how many times you either cancel or have a gig that needs to be canceled that you don't complete. That can be a little bit tricky because some people tend to mistakenly place an order, but you can message customer support, and they're right there to be able to help you out with that. I tell everyone, keep your response rate under an hour. Even if it's just a hello, yes, I can help you. People tend to enjoy when they can communicate with the person that they're about to either spend some money or do some business with. When you are the one that responds right then and there, you already have their attention. They come to the platform ready to purchase something. It's up to you to actually be right there and do your part. Again, you're going to have your order screen And this is where all the information is going to be coming in, to where you see what's priority, what's active, what's late, what you've delivered in this past few days. Here you want to really pay attention to how long you have before something is completed. That goes back into how you created your gig, and I'm going to cover more on gig creations in another video. But when it comes down to your gigs, this is where you're going to see what you're offering. And some have been deleted. I've taken away some and I've added some. You can see that one is fairly new, just because I noticed that people were getting more out of wanting to do a one-on-one call. So I created another gig and I just made it more of a consulting thing. Again, with each one of these, you can create your own price. You'll be able to have your basic, standard, and premium. Once again, I will go over that when we go into gig creation, but for now, you can understand that you can have a 3-tier system where you can have a basic, standard, and then a premium. Eventually, you'll be able to promote your gig after it gets a certain amount of impressions, after a certain amount of jobs that have been done or gigs that's been completed. You will then be able to promote your services. As you complete work, your clientele will build. And over time, you're going to be able to consistently provide that same service. In the beginning, yes, you're going to be undercutting, you're going to be working long hours, but that's what it's going to take in order for you to reach the goals that you might want to make. If you want to be doing $50, $60, $70, $100,000 a year just off of Fiverr gigs, then you can, but you have to understand it's going to take a decent amount of work. Then after that, you can go back in. In the beginning, I always tell folks, I love taking the Rockefeller approach, to where you kind of undercut folks. Don't hit me, don't hate me. I love being able to undercut, and if you can afford to do it, do it. Some customers don't like it when you do raise your prices later, but that's also going to be up to you and how you communicate with people about your services and what you offer, because you're committed to building something. And most of the time, they truly support that. You don't have much to worry about. There is much more to it, and I'm happy to be able to share a lot more every week in the coming videos. Again, if you like this, go ahead and subscribe for practical business tutorials, tips, and tricks. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time. If you only knew how many times I had to do this takeover. Thanks again for Thanks again for watching. You know what? I'm not cut out for this.